Looking back at season 3 of Star Trek Picard, one of the things that irritated me the most, criticisms. And listen, I'm totally open to criticisms and like crapping on stuff or calling things out and all these things. But one of the things that really bothered me, and I get why it bothered people, because guess what? It bothered me too at first. I was like, uh-oh, because Picard season 3 opens up with Beverly Crusher with a weapon like, bam, bam, I'm Rambo, let's go. But her ship she was under attack and she was defending herself. And it really drove me nuts because one of the worst criticisms, and I still hear it to this day from, I think, stupid people, maybe. I don't know. I've heard people that, like, I'm listening to a podcast of someone that I kind of like, and they're like, yeah, I was out when I saw Beverly Crusher as Rambo at the beginning. I turned it right off. And I'm like, I get it, based on all the stuff that came before. But what are you talking about? Beverly Crusher has always kicked ass. You're going to see some examples right now. But, like, dude, the lady has phasered ghosts. She's phasered other people. She lasers people. She's fought with people. She's ninja kicked people and then phasered people. I mean, she has always been like that. And she's definitely always been protective of her children.
If you take one more step towards my son.
So I think it's a ridiculous comment. You either don't remember these episodes because you skipped them or something, or you just don't remember. I don't know. I watch The Next Generation almost every other day. Things, I think, more than anything, to be honest. But saying that, oh, I didn't watch it because Beverly was kicking ass. Beverly has always kicked ass. She just always has. It's a ridiculous thing. Beverly, in many ways, is literally like female Picard. She's a lot like Picard. She actually is not like, she is different than Picard, though. That's the thing. But the bottom line is she has that command ability. When she took command of the ship back in the day, which she did several times on TNG, and she had people fire phasers, she was the captain of the ship. So even at the end when she fired phasers of Picard season 3, and she was like, you're going to have to do it manually, Beverly. And she's like, a lot's happened in the last 20 years or whatever. That is funny, and she definitely is more upgraded and more militarily, like, I don't want to say cohesive or something than she was. She definitely has leveled up as far as her ability to shoot, fire, and stuff like that. It feels like that, at least. But that's not out of character at all for her. It just really isn't. It's one of the worst arguments I've heard. But I understand why, because of all the boom boom action stupid from Picard season 1 and 2 and all of current new Star Trek. And let's talk about Section 31. Holy crap, what a pile of trash of just shoot 'em up, shoot, kick, punch, dumb people, stupid, not Star Trek. So I get it, but this is not out of character for Beverly. They honestly, they utilized her character perfectly. And if she was going to become more strong-willed as she got older and more protective of a child as she got older, then honestly, this is exactly what Beverly would be like. So I really think Terry Matalas and all the people that wrote this did a great job with Beverly. And honestly, she really is the Beverly I remember. She's definitely more the same person almost than many other people, I mean, she really nails it. And Gates is such a great actress, man. This is, I never questioned it, except for at first because I get the stigma of what happened before. But yeah, so just anybody questioning that, not understanding, there are more examples of Beverly in the Next Generation, being kind of a badass. I love Beverly. I love her character. I love that she can be a commander, be a captain. At the same time, she's a doctor and she's so smart. She's exactly my type of woman, to be honest. Like, I love a smart woman who also could be tough, but also is very, feminine. So, and that's what, Beverly really is, all those things. It goes back to that episode where they had that Robin Hood episode with Q, and they didn't let the women sword fight, even though Marina Sirtis, I guess, and Beverly Gates, they were classically trained and they weren't allowed to do it because the period, women didn't fight then or whatever. But it's like, but it wouldn't matter to the Star Trek crew because they're trying to get out of this situation. So they're not paying attention to the period laws. They'd pick up a sword and just start fighting people. So they should have done it. They didn't do it. Instead, the women hit people with pottery plants or whatever. But even in that, Beverly was waffling people with potted plants. But even in that episode, you can tell that there's a little bit of, and listen, I'm not some woke, crazy far left person screaming for equal rights and the misogyny and everything. But the bottom line is this. In that episode, Beverly breaks a pot over someone's head, and then she's like, oh my God, I did it. And you can watch it for yourself. Go watch Cupid. She breaks a potted plant over someone's head, and then she kind of has a look of, oh my God, I did it. But to be honest, that's more out of character for Beverly than anything. Because we've seen in previous episodes Beverly do things where she's not excited with herself that she hurt somebody. She knows exactly what she's doing. If she smashes a pot over someone's head and knocks them out, she's not going to go, oh, I got him. What? Is there anything else going on? I got him. But I get it. They did it for comedic effect and whatever else. But the comedic effect is, oh, the little girl did something. She was able to do something. And so you can see that sort of, it's not that bad. I understand why they did it. It's not that crazy. It's not misogynistic bastards. But it was a little bit. It was a little bit of that sort of mindset, that misogynistic mindset. It was there. It just is. And it still goes on to this day because people are like, oh, my God, Beverly is Rambo. It's like, so you didn't watch the show fully, right? But even on the show, those writers, wrote her conveniently to be like that. So it's just something that still follows women to this day. And I'm not some rah-rah, like I said, I'm not some softy, crybaby, woke puppet idiot. But the bottom line is there's stigmas for everybody. There's stigmas for men, women, different color people, races, everybody. And it's always going to be there for everybody. It's just going to be there regardless. But it was much heavier back in the day. And it's still there now because you couldn't see Beverly Crusher shooting people. And listen, I think if the show had opened up with Picard, firing shots at people left and right too and killing everybody like Rambo or Die Hard, I think people would complain about that too because they'd say, okay, well, Picard season 3 starts with 90-year-old Picard, phasering people all over the place, and oh my God, it's action schlock. And people really don't want action schlock anymore. They want the old TNG type of movies or story or something, even though the movies had a lot of action too. So I think that the action is on par with the movies, so therefore I think it's fine. And I think we all thought the movies were okay back in the day, 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, whatever you thought the movies of TNG were. And so for those reasons, I think this is very on par with that sort of thing, slightly upgraded, but it's definitely on character and in character for Beverly Crusher. So I think that the Terry Matalas and the writing team of Star Trek Picard Season 3, I really do think they did a really good job. And honestly, sometimes the more I watch it, I go back and I listen to my critiques of the show back when we first critiqued it, and I get mad at myself because there's a lot of things that I missed. And if you don't watch it multiple times, there's a lot of things that you'll miss. And I think that there's a lot of complaints that people have that they're getting mad or they stopped watching it based on the bad Star Trek that's out there. And maybe that they don't remember TNG the same way everybody does, because TNG had was very well-rounded subtly. And I do think that Star Trek, there's a lot of room for Star Trek to sort of be what you might want it to be, right? Like, that's why you have to be careful with Star Trek when you take it on as a new writer or a new studio or whatever. You have to be careful with Star Trek, because in Star Trek, there is a lot of open-minded progressiveness, and there is a lot of, great relationships and great characters, great stories, sci-fi stories, thrillers, the human condition. There's just so much stuff. Space adventure, space fighting and action. So you could roll all these into, and you could cherry pick one or two of those things and predominantly make a Star Trek around it. But I think when Star Trek is the best is when every episode kind of veers into different versions of that. Like, okay, this episode's a little bit about somebody's struggle with something, and it's also about a spatial anomaly. This episode's about, sort of a allegory of progressiveness of some alien species, and this isn't, and also at the same time, They're trying to get the ship out of trouble. You know, there's all these mixtures of stuff that doesn't smash you over the head with it, but it's an observational, fun thing to watch. Whereas now Star Trek, it's like it's about one thing. Super crazy weapon is going to blow everyone up, and we're dead if super mega weapon doesn't get destroyed. And also, men are bad. And that's what Star Trek is like now. And that is awful. But don't you dare say Beverly Crusher's out of character in Picard Season 3, because she's not. She always kicked ass. Great acting. Great show. I'll see you guys later.